It's me, Chris Colley. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Rochester Hills, Michigan. And today I'm going to share with you one of my favorite new online exclusives. We used this bundle, the stamp set and the dies, for our online exclusives class this past week. And these dies are extremely fine. They have lots of little dots and inserts and things, and they can tend to be a little bit sticky sometimes as far as getting everything out. This is also a good one, Spotlight on Nature, that has all of those little tiny things that you poke out once your die has cut them. And so today I'm just going to share some tricks to make that a little bit easier to use these dies and get those tiny little pieces out. I'm going to be using some of our Stampin' Up! Adhesive sheets, and these come 12 to a pack, and it's one of my favorite tricks to use when we're using some really intricate dies. So I have cut my cloud cover cardstock the same size as my adhesive paper, and we're going to be using this die. And you can see it's going to have a lot of these little things that are they're going to need to come out. Those little dots, these little arches, all of those things need to come out of this die. So what we're going to do is take our adhesive sheet, and it has like a little split to it, and you peel that protective coating off, and there is a sticky adhesive there. So I'm going to put my cloud cover, I'm just peeling off one strip of that adhesive, and I'm going to put my cardstock right on top of it. And I do it just a little strip at a time so that I don't get sticky everywhere. I get it on straight so that when I put it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss, I don't have any of those sticky edges that are sticking out everywhere. Okay, and then I'm going to take a piece of wax paper, just regular old wax paper, no trick to it. I seem to have mine fell. I just dropped the whole piece. Okay. So we're going to take, and I'm going to cut my wax paper so that it's going to cover my whole piece of cardstock. So, and you can use some scissors here. You can use the box. I'm just going to use my fingernail. Get a good crease on there. And there we go. Okay. So I'm going to bring in my big beast here. And I'm going to use my die cut sandwich. And so I have my base plate and my number 2 plate, and then my number 3. And on top of my number 3, let's turn it so you can see. So I have my base here, which is my number 1, and then my skinny number 2, and my clear number 3. And then I'm going to put my cloud cover piece down there and my wax paper piece, and then I'm going to put my die right on top of it. Okay, so I have my die, my wax paper, my cardstock, and the cardstock has the adhesive on the back of it. So that's going to go right on my machine. And I'm going to put another clear plate on top. And then we're just going to push it through here. And I like to put my hand up here and just, so my hand's on the handle part, it just gives it a little more stability when it's coming through there. Okay. So you're going to have another little oval in the middle that has some adhesive on the back of it now. So I'm going to save that for something else. And my wax paper. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to take my wax paper off the top of it, and I'm just going to kind of poke my take your pick tool in there and get it started. And that's going to pull a couple of those little pieces off, but you can see there's still a lot of little tiny circles in there and arches. So when you peel off, rather than having to go through and poke all of those out, we're going to peel that adhesive sheet off the back of it. Okay, so I'm just going to take your pick tool, get it started there, and then you can see all of those little pieces are going to pull right out, and they're going to be stuck on the adhesive back paper, and then we're going to have this beautiful die cut. And it's sticky on the back, so you can stick it right onto your card. I'm not going to be making my card, so I'm going to put this one right on the wax paper. So when I go to make my card, I will have it. It will be all sticky. And this is the card that we made. We made this at our online exclusive class, which did feature the Scalloped Wishes. So you can see how the little pieces are popped out. It's just a beautiful die cut with all of those intricate little things happening there. And then one of the other dies in this set is this one. And so you can see again, it is really detailed with lots of little pieces in the middle of the flowers that need to come out. So we're going to do the same thing. I have cut my piece of a basic white cardstock 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I've also cut my adhesive sheet 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. You want it to be a little bit bigger than your die. So you can see I have some white showing all the way around it. If you cut it the same size as your die, it's going to come away from your edges and you'll just have all these pieces. So you do want to leave a little bit of a frame all the way around it. So I cut my adhesive sheet the same size, and I'm just going to take a little bit of the corner there. Because this is a bigger piece of adhesive sheet, I'm just going to start with a little corner instead of a whole strip. There we go. I'll peel the back of that strip off. And then I'm just going to lift this up and peel that second adhesive strip. And then my third one. And by just doing them in sections like that, it just makes it so much easier to get it nice and smooth and straight on there. So my big shot sandwich is going to be the same. I'm going to do my base plate, my number 2, my number 3, and then I'm going to do my cardstock with the adhesive on the back of it, and my wax paper, and my die cut. Okay, I'm going to make sure my die cut is lined up so that I have a little bit of that white showing all the way around it. And then for this one, I am going to take a piece of Post-it tape and just put it right on there. Then I had a piece of Post-it tape right here. There we go. So I'm going to put that Post-it tape right along the top so it doesn't move on me. Okay? And then I'm going to put my, and you do need to be really careful because that wax paper, it does have a tendency to move. So if you want to be sure you get it lined up and then put your Post-it tape on it. Actually, I'm going to put one more piece of tape. So I have one at the top and at the bottom. Some of you probably have a magnetic plate that you use. All of us kind of have different secrets that we like to use that help us out, different tricks. So I'm going to put my top plate on there, and then I'm just going to push it through. And I always like to put my hand on the top so I have a little bit more stability as I'm pushing through there. Okay, so the thing that you want to remember for your intricate die cuts like this is, number one, adhesive sheet on the back of your cardstock and wax paper on the top of your cardstock. So you have adhesive sheet on the back and wax paper on the top. Okay, and this is going to be the same thing as with the other die cut. And I'm almost thinking I want to go through there twice, but we'll see. It may be that depending on your die cut machine, you may need to run it through forwards and backwards. So I'm just going to peel that off there and then punch my middle piece out. And I can see I'm going to have to work a little bit with that middle piece, but it is going to come out. And that's just the adhesive sheet that you hear tearing like that. So what's going to happen is, again, you can see all of those little tiny pieces in there, right? See all those little holes and all that good stuff that you want to use your brush or take your pick tool on. Don't do that yet. Remember, we put this adhesive sheet on the back of it. So let's peel this off. And you can see a lot of that is coming right off on your adhesive sheet when you pull it off here. So you can see it's kind of making a big mess down there, but most of those pieces are just popping right off. Okay, and then you have just a few, and you can leave those in there if you want. I have some friends that don't like all of theirs being popped out, so they tend to leave a few in there. And that's perfectly fine too. But you can see that adhesive sheet pulled a lot of them off there for me. So those are your suggestions here. And when I go to put this on my cardstock, I want to be sure I get it nice and straight. So I'll show you how I do that. I'm going to put it on this piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it. Let me get all this garbage out of the way here. So I'm going to hold it kind of kitty-wampus, one corner and one corner, and then lay it on there to where I think it's going to be straight, and I'm going to have the kind of edge that I want, and then I'm going to press it down. So by holding it kind of kitty-wampus, I can kind of be sure that I'm getting it on there straight. Isn't that pretty? I just love how that turned out. And then my card, let's see where I put my card. This is the card from this one. So you can see, all I did was just add a simple sentiment, a little bit of a bow, and some gems. So there you guys are. You have all of my tips and tricks for being successful when you're using the dies from the Scalloped Wishes bundle. So again, adhesive sheet, cardstock, wax paper, and then your die. And before you start punching little circles out, peel your adhesive sheet off the back. Thanks for tuning in. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye-bye.